I'm Khalil Peart, and you're watching the show LA.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Another brand new episode of the show LA, the hottest high school football show in Southern California. I'm AP.
And I'm LP.
Now picking up where we left off last week, we've got some brand new segments for you. Lindsay, break it down to them.
All right, we've got the Beta LA, our upper and lowerclassman watchlist, and a couple new additions that AP is going to tell you more about.
First and foremost, we were actually out in Phoenix at the Hardcount Athletics 7-on-7. DSPN was out there. So we've got some 7-on-7 highlights for you guys. I know it's been a long time, with the season being postponed. And we've got a brand new weekly segment with your guys' favorite dude in the world, John Brown, former Mr. Universe. He's going to be spitting some black coffee. So if you like your coffee without cream or sugar, stay tuned because John Brown is spitting his black coffee.
DJ Justice, class 2021, UCLA commit. You are watching the show LA.
First up, we've got DJ Justice, UCLA wide receiver commit. Actually just left Alamany and transferred down to San Diego, but we're looking forward to speaking with him on our Upperclassman Watchlist. Stay tuned.
All right, DJ, welcome to the show. You transferred from San Diego to Alamany for your junior season. Can you sum up how that year went for you?
My junior season was an eye-opener for me because it was my first time playing in the spread offense. So in the beginning, I started off fast. First few games, I had like over 200 yards, and it slowed out a little bit as the season kept going. And I had to learn some new plays, learn just different stuff about the spread offense. So it was a big jump coming from the wings team my sophomore year. But then I would say around like game 6, I figured it all out. And after that, I was really comfortable in the offense and everything started going well. I started scoring a lot more, and we made it to the semifinals, but we had a lot of people hurt, a lot of people sick on the team, just unfortunately. So we lost, and Corona Del Mar was a real good team too. So, but it was a really fun season. I learned a lot last season for sure.
DJ, you obviously had a big time decision to make yourself and with your family, obviously. But what factored into your decision to forego your senior year of high school? Because you just recently decided that you're going to opt out and just go straight to college instead of playing your senior year. What was that decision like? Break it down to us.
Well, there's a lot of factors that go into my decision about leaving early this year. Definitely was a family decision, just having everyone's opinion of what would be best for me. Also, obviously, it's my decision too. But like it's just a less risk of injury playing in the spring and then going right into the fall. And then also my goal is to play earlier, so I want to be as fresh and ready as I can for college to come in and make an impact rather than I'm already committed. So not saying that's a reason to just not compete anymore in high school, but I'm just saying if the season was this year, I would have played. But since they moved it, I just want to look to the next step, especially if the season's not even if they have half the games or something like that.
DJ, as we know, everything's been really crazy during the pandemic. Gyms have been shut down. Schools are doing online sessions. How have you been training during COVID-19?
Training during COVID, at first it was really weird because it was just I used to work out with a lot of people, and now I'm just kind of to myself. I'm training. I do speed training on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, but I hurt my knee a few weeks ago, so I haven't been doing that as much, but I've been recovering. So I'll be getting back to that soon. And then I do weight training Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Saturdays. And then I'll do routes. On the days I do weight training, I'll do routes after. So that's what a week looks like for me.
DJ, you're an athlete. You come from an athletic background. Dad played Major League Baseball, and I'm sure you excelled at many other sports. I saw you dunk a basketball. I know you probably on the baseball diamond. But if you were to have chosen another sport, which sport do you think that you could have potentially gone the farthest in?
Ooh, I would say, or if I would have stayed with soccer, I would say soccer probably the most. But I stopped soccer in 8th grade. But I was probably the best at soccer. I started at 3 and played all the way till 8th grade. And then other than that, maybe baseball. But I stopped that freshman year just to focus on football. But no one would have thought I would be playing football, though, because I didn't play. Really, my first year was freshman year. Like, if you count, like, 8 and 9 years old. But, like, really playing was freshman year.
DJ, you grew up around professional athletes. Your dad was a longtime Atlanta Brave. What are the best pieces of advice you've gotten from professional athletes over the years?
I would say the best piece of advice I've gotten from my dad and from some other pros is, from my dad, you get out whatever you put in. And I truly believe that because I've seen that in my game. Also, that not everything's going to happen overnight. Like, it's a journey, and just to have patience. From Steve Smith Sr., I learned, this always stuck with me, was to always know your opponent's weaknesses before they know yours, and know, like, if they know your weaknesses and your strengths, and you don't know their weaknesses, you just know their strengths, then it's not going to turn out well for you. You're already unmatched, and I've learned that through film, just watching that, and I've seen the difference in going against an opponent rather than not knowing their weaknesses. It's a big difference, and it's more of an advantage. So that's always stuck with me.
The next step in your journey is already cut out. You're foregoing your senior season. You're going to be a college football player next year. What are some of those goals that you've already set for yourself entering your freshman season of college football?
As of right now, I know I'll come up with some more later because it's still a little early, but definitely right now I want to have at least one 1,000-yard receiving season, because I've heard from other people that if you have one good season, you can get on the radar to go to the NFL, and that's obviously the end goal, is to go to the NFL. So definitely 1,000-yard seasons and touchdowns and all that. I haven't set a goal for all that, but that's really it right now.
Thanks, DJ, for coming on the show. Up next, we have a new segment with John Brown called Black Coffee.
This is John Brown. I want to give you some black coffee. Let's talk about mindset, okay? Some of you jokers are flying real low, like 3,000 feet. You got to be at 30,000 feet, like a 747. You got to reset your mindset. You're too low in your thinking. Listen, I always ask guys this. If they say they play football, are you good? Yeah. How good are you? Where are you trying to go? You gonna go to the pros? I hope. Hope is hopeless. You can't say hope. You understand what I'm saying? If you know you're gonna go to the NFL, say it loud and say it proud. Don't be afraid to say that. All the people that's not gonna go, they'll tell you shouldn't say that. Don't listen to them fools. That's why their ass ain't there, okay? So you gotta keep your mindset right. Know that you are the greatest. You got to train to dominate people, not to play with them, to be as good as them. Dominate their ass. This is how you do it. Listen, you want, like a football team. If I was a coach, I want one guy to put their foot on the neck of the team, another guy to dig the freaking hole, take the shovel, another guy to throw the dirt in, and the rest of the team stand on top of the grave until the game is over. You got to be ready to dominate somebody. This is a mindset, and don't be afraid to say it loud, because I know it's an unpopular thing today. Oh, you shouldn't say that. You shouldn't act like that. Who do you think he is? You think you're the greatest. If you think you're the greatest, you will be the greatest, okay? You gotta, listen. I tell my sons to shoot for the stars. Shoot for the stars, because the bottom is overcrowded. You don't want to be down with the rest of them fools. Don't be afraid to know, to think, to say out loud that you're going to be great, because guess what happens, my friend? What you say out loud manifests. You understand? When you say it out loud, it gets into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between fact and fiction. So you must say it all day long. Believe in yourself. That's my black coffee for the day.
As always, we want to give a shout out to our partner, Zort Sports.
Zort Sports is an absolutely free tournament scheduling app. You can download it on iPhone or Android to schedule your next tournament. Super easy to use. You can actually give scoring updates, bracket updates. Very, very simple, absolutely free app. You can follow on Zorts_sports and download the app today. John Brown, always a pleasure to have him on the show. He's spitting it real. He's spitting it straight. If you can't handle it, I don't know, man. You might not want to watch next week, but John Brown every week is going to be on here spitting black coffee and giving you a different perspective on things. We always appreciate somebody looking at things through a different lens, and John Brown most definitely does that. Up next, we've got our Lowerclassman Watchlist. class of 2023 recruit Kahlil Peart from Sierra Canyon. Khalil, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Kahlil Peart from Sierra Canyon Football. Stay tuned for the Lowerclassman Watchlist. Last year, I played JV football at Calabasas High School before transferring to Sierra Canyon. I played varsity a little bit too. I'm excited to play varsity this year alongside the receivers like DJ Harvey, Josiah Phillips, and many more. We got a squad out there this year.
Khalil, with a limited amount of training facilities open, a lot of gyms closed down, how have you been training during quarantine?
Quarantine, I've been able to stay active by training at the Future Elite Academy. I've been jump roping a lot, also been running around my block, and also doing 7-on-7 on the side.
Khalil, you grew up here in Southern California, so you've had a chance to see a ton of big name players who have gone on either to college or the NFL. Who are some of those guys growing up that you idolized, maybe you modeled your game after, but just talk about a few of those guys who were your influences on the football field coming up.
I used to look up to Buki and Darnay. Always like the highlights, always got me hyped before games. Buki, he played fast, he played physical. He was an animal on the field. Darnay, he was more the finesse dude. You know, he was also fast, of course, but you know, I just like watching like how they play.
Khalil, what are some of your goals in the classroom and on the field this year?
This upcoming year, I'm striving for a 4.0 GPA. Also, on the football side of it, I want to win a state championship with my team, of course, because that's everybody's goal. And I want to just put up numbers. I want to contribute to the team any way I can.
As athletes, we have people who we need in our corner who support our journey. Khalil, who are some of those people who have consistently been in your corner, supporting your journey along the way?
I want to give a shout out to my mom and dad. They always keep me grounded. My uncle, too, he always helped me throughout my career, coming up from youth to now. And they always kept me focused on where I might need to be on the right path.
Khalil, you're headed into your sophomore season, but there's a lot of younger players that want to follow in your footsteps. What advice would you give to them?
My advice to the young kids would be stay focused, keep working hard. That's the most important thing. You always want to work hard and have fun. Because once you get to high school, it starts turning starts getting turned up. It starts being a business and getting more serious. So have fun while you're in youth.
Khalil, you're headed into your sophomore season at Sierra Canyon. Where are you in the recruiting process?
My recruitment really hasn't taken off yet. I have 0 offers right now, but why probably should look at me is I'm tall, fast, athletic. I can play any position on the field on offense or defense.
Thanks again to Kahlil Peart from Sierra Canyon, class of 2023. He's going to be one to watch, even though he has no offers currently. He's a big body. He's a sure-handed wide receiver. I've seen him play several times, so it's only a matter of time before his stock goes up. Up next, in a brand new segment we have called The Bay to LA, our second installment from De La Salle High School, we've got Lou Hearns, Cal Berkeley commit. Stay tuned.
This is Lou Hearns from De La Salle, DB and receiver, class of 2021. You're watching the show LA.
Next up, we've got another installment of The Bay to LA, where we shine a spotlight on some Bay Area players and give them a little bit of love on the show LA. This week, we've got 2021 athlete from De La Salle, Cal Berkeley commit Lou Hearns. Lou, you've been at De La Salle all 4 years, a perennial powerhouse in the Bay Area and nationally. If you were to describe or to sum up your 4 years at De La Salle, how would you describe it?
If I was to sum up my last 4 years at De La Salle, I have to say it was definitely eye-opening to be with new people. I mean, I come from a majority of African-American background in even my city. And so being around mostly Caucasian people and definitely a new religion too, because they're Catholic. And I'm not, I'm just Christian, or I say I'm Methodist, but it's definitely different, eye-opening, and I think it allowed me to grow as a person.
Lou, you're in a unique position right now, being already committed to Cal Berkeley. You're a class of 2021 guy, but with COVID-19, the whole pandemic has really affected a lot of other guys' recruiting process. Some class of 2021 guys who still need to get film and still need to put themselves out there are definitely having trouble with this. But how would you sum it up? How has COVID-19 really had an effect on people's recruiting process?
But this whole COVID thing it's hard for the young guys, definitely, because they won't get that junior or sophomore season to really break out and start to turn heads. For me, I had the ability to start early. I played my sophomore year, and then with the offer from Cal was kind of late. I did have other offers, but once I got the Cal offer, I felt like it was the right one, so I just committed early. And for me, it's kind of a dead period. I'm just working out, trying to stay healthy for either upcoming season or just if we bypass the season and stay healthy for Cal.
Growing up in the Bay Area, Cal Berkeley is definitely one of those schools that a lot of Bay Area kids probably dreamed of. You know, what were your thoughts on Cal Berkeley coming up as a youth?
When I was younger, I was always attracted to Berkeley, not only because they're close to home, but back in the day, they were big time football. I mean, they had a lot of guys that ended up going to the NFL. And then as I got older, I started getting more into the educational side of Cal. And it's one of the top public institutions in the world. So, I mean, for me, I'm big on both academics and sports, and it's just a perfect fit.
So, Lou, as a student athlete, what was it in your upbringing that helped fuel your competitive nature in the classroom?
Me, at a young age, I had a big inspiration, which was my older sister. She also was athletic and smart. So growing up, I kind of always looked up to her, and then it allowed me to do the same thing both on the field, in the classroom, and helping out in other aspects.
Personally, the first time I got to see you play was in the state championship game against Mater Dei, and you made an amazing play that game. And that's the day I said, you know, who is Lou Hearns? You know, you were definitely on the map at that point. But describe that game and talk a little bit about that play.
Sophomore year, state game, playing against Mater Dei. I went into the game just thinking it was a regular game. I feel like most people mess up trying to make the game bigger than what it is. So on that particular play where I scored, I think it was a 86 or 84 yard touchdown. It was just a simple slant, one-step slant. Dude didn't put his hands on me. Got the ball in stride, and then after that, I had a quick burst. Then I could feel myself dying down, and I could feel somebody behind me. So that's why if you watch the film, I'm not running in a straight line. And then as soon as the dude hit my leg, I thought I was going down. But running tires with people like Coach King weeks before that kind of helped me build my leg strength and stay up and score.
If you're from the Bay Area, the name Maurice Jones-Drew is big time. It definitely rings bells. De La Salle player, went on to UCLA, played with the Jacksonville Jaguars, Pro Bowl running back. How is your relationship with MJD, and what types of things has he done to help propel the whole KT Prep organization?
So my relationship with MJD is it's personal but also distant, just because he's also doing the commentating and stuff. He's not always around, but he does play a big role into most of our trips and stuff, whether it's getting vans for us, paying for hotels and stuff like that. So he does help out a lot. And plus we have a facility, or they have a facility, Power Endurance, which is really under him, but it allows Coach Ken and Coach Devin to do training and stuff like that. So he does play a big role in not only KT, but just the development of the youth. This is Lou Hearns. Thank you for watching Back to LA. Next up, we have Chad Tossie, one of my teammates, D-line and O-line.
As I alluded to earlier on in the show, our very own DSPN went out to Phoenix, Arizona this past weekend for the Hardcount Athletics 7-on-7. Enjoy some of these highlights.
Show you watching? You watching the show LA.
joining us for another episode of the show LA. AP, what do we got going next week?
Next week, we'll be back with Junior Tuialamaka, the #1 class of 2022 inside linebacker recruit in the nation from Bishop Alemany for our Upperclassman Watchlist. In addition to much, much more, stay tuned and thank you for watching the show LA.